This is day 179 of the Daily Bread Bible Study for Saturday, June 27th, 2020, focusing on Psalms 134 through 140. We carry on with these Psalms, which often are Psalms of ascents. Here we have a break from that after Psalm 134, a Psalm of ascents. And verse 1 says, "Come, bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord." Worshiping in God's temple is important. Being able to celebrate God and bless the Lord, it's very important to do. So, what does the Lord do that's worthy of blessing? Well, in Psalm 135, verse 6, it says, "Whatever the Lord pleases, he does, in heaven and on earth and in the seas and all the deeps." And then the psalm continues to give a history of what has happened, specifically how God brought his people out of slavery in Egypt. And so the other nations such as Egypt, the Amorites, and Bashan, they can't stand up to God because God is able to deliver God's people whenever God wants. He does what he pleases. In Psalm 36, it says, verse 3 and 4, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord of Lords, for his steadfast love endures forever. Who alone does great wonders, for his steadfast love endures forever." Again, like in 135, we have a list of wonders, along with the phrase of worship, "for his steadfast love endures forever." As we looked through the Psalms a little bit earlier, a few days ago, we pointed out that phrase, "his steadfast love endures forever," very much a call to worship in their day and time, and a good one for us as well, too. We have a little different psalm here in 137. It's a psalm of bitterness, psalm of devastation. And personally, it's actually quite hard for me to hear. In Psalm 137, verses 8 through 9, it says, "O daughter Babylon, you devastator, happy shall they who pay you back what you have done to us. Happy shall they be who take your little ones and dash them against a rock." I talked previously about the blessing of children, the gift of life, and the blessedness of wishing somebody to live a long and prosperous life. But here is the exact opposite. It is taking away life. Now, I imagine these words are said, it's because that's what happened to the Israelites' children at the sacking of Jerusalem there by Babylon. It was not a pleasant experience, I can imagine, as both, they had to siege it and have cut off all of the supplies going into the city so that people were starving and in hunger, and finally go in and fight and take down the city, and then after that just destroy these Jews who were living in Jerusalem. So this destruction, this is where this psalm comes from. Now, I know that it's a hard place to be, but man, does it really just make me sad to contemplate trying to destroy somebody else's kids. It's just terrible. So, moving on to Psalm 138, a psalm of David in verse 3. It says, "On the day I called, you answered me. You increased my strength of soul." This is very different, right? Psalm 137 is a day when God did not show up and wickedness ran abound. But this is a day when God does show up and strength is renewed. Life is renewed. Life is sustained and not killed or destroyed. So I give thanks for this psalm as an antidote to the one previous. Now we have Psalm 139, a psalm of David. I selected verses 6 through 7. "Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high that I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence?" This is one of my favorite pieces of scripture all time. There's so many good parts of it. I'm in awe. This is a scripture that's in awe of God and earnestly seeking, for this awe-inspiring God. So may we be able to seek for this God who shows up and does miraculous things, who even knits us together in our mother's womb, as it says here, and knows us intimately. Our last one for today is Psalm 140, a psalm of David, and I selected verses 7 through 8 to speak. O Lord, my strong deliverer, you have covered my head in the day of battle. Do not grant, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Do not further their evil plot. Selah. Wickedness and goodness again make an appearance here, and especially from the psalmist. He's part of the good. He thinks those who are fighting against him are evil, and so he wants God to deliver him in his day of need. So may we be in awe of this God who gives us all sorts of things and also loves us even in the midst of challenges and when people hate us and persecute us and do terrible things to the lives of those we care about. May we reciprocate hate with love. So may you be working on that as I am working on that now. So have a great day. Take care. God's blessings.